Hey, what's up, guys? Khordmaster here. So it's come to my attention that a lot of people out there who see me making content with a lot of this type of gear, like this that I'm going to talk about today, just have more questions than I think I even realized about this stuff. And I've been coming to these coffee shops and been doing live streams with this exact setup with my TX6 mixer from Teenage Engineering and the OPZ and my camera and a mini tripod for the table, and those are a lot of fun. Sometimes, I just get in the zone, and maybe sometimes people walk over and have questions, in the area and stuff, and it's definitely a good time. Um, and I would kind of designate sort of tutorial or overview videos to exclusively be filmed in the studio. And I just had sort of a realization that I can and should and will start recording some of these videos out at these cafes. So not just doing these live streams here, but doing videos like this. And so in this first video, what I want to talk a little bit about is the OPZ. And what I'm going to do is kind of give you a overview of what this piece of equipment is and why I enjoy it so much. I have a few videos on the channel about the OPZ already. Um, but it's 2023 now. I don't think I made one such video this year on this specific piece of equipment, and I want to start this series with this specific piece of equipment because it happens to be my favorite piece of teenage engineering gear that I own, and the one that I use by far the most and have the dopest sounding music on, such as something like this. All right, so the way that I want to do this is I want to give an overview of what this piece of equipment is, as I mentioned earlier. And for starters, the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that this is a super portable sequencer that is very, very, very different than the piece of teenage engineering equipment that most people have heard of and know about, the OP1 and the OP1 field. A sequencer is something that lets you sequence, for lack of a better term, notes, MIDI data, and this lets you do things beyond just sequencing them. One of the things with this piece of equipment that really is like a high selling point for me is the fact that once you have something going on here, you're able to make really meaningful and incredible changes to what's being listened to, what's being heard through this thing called the performance track. So as an overview, we have our drum track, we have, well, four drum tracks rather, that are all sample based. We have our kick drum. See what happens if I hit that kick drum track, snare, hi-hats, and like effects. And then we have these synth tracks here, which are our bass, our synth, arpeggio, and chord. And then you have these two like effect tracks, and then you have a tape track and master and what is this called? Performance effects. Yeah. So basically, if I go to like a new track, for example, if I go, hold P and go to like project 5. So all these black buttons here are your different projects that you have. And then above that, all these buttons here are your different patterns within that project. And anything that's red means that I have a pattern there already. So on project 1, every single one of these slots is taken up. I keep hitting this, so let me move this over. Project 2, all of these are taken up. These are empty projects because nothing is there, right? And then you have 3 more, and so on and so forth. So if I go to like just a quick blank project, I think the best idea would be for me to kind of just create something on the fly. Who knows how it's going to sound, but just to kind of give you an idea how to go about making something from scratch. So on project 5, I'm going to go to this track that has nothing there. I'm going to let go. I'm going to go to the drum track, and you can hold this track button down, and this goes through your different drum synth or drum samples rather that you have. So in this first one, you have these drums. These are all kick drums, mind you, right? All these different kick drums. This one, you have these. So these are a different set of kick drums, so on and so forth. So if I go to the first one and I find this kick drum and I just tap on these different steps and I hit play, you get these drums that are playing in this sequence here. Then I hold this, go to snare, right? So now these two, so you have something like that going. What if you go to hi-hats? Now say if I wanted to increase or decrease the volume, if I wanted, and actually you know what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here on the TX6. This is not a TX6 video, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention some of the features of over here that are just really, really good. So right now, there's a duck feature that I can turn on. So when this is playing audio, you guys are gonna hear this audio get diminished when I start talking so that you can hear me better, like this. So if I wanted to decrease or increase the sound of these hi-hats, this shifts to the different pages for these knobs over here that all do different things that we're not going to necessarily go into right now. But this yellow page, I know, increases the track that you're currently on or decreases it. So now you hear no hi-hats, right? So you have that going on. So right now, I want to do what I just did. I'm going to actually do it because I kind of like that real quick. So I have that going. And what I just wanted to explain is we had 1 bar going for all the tracks. If you want to increase this particular arpeggio track or any track to 2 bars, press and hold track button, excuse me, hold shift, and then you can change to, you know, 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar. So I just did that and changed it to 2 bars quick. The reason I did that so quick is because I wanted to lay that down before I forgot it. Now, so while that's happening, these buttons over here, when you're on the white page, these all have different parameters that make your synth or whatever track you're on sound different. Also, if I wanted to change the whole thing on this track to an octave higher, hold shift and hold plus. Back to here. So you're starting to see the flexibility right now. If you want to add some drums, hold this, go to bass. So I might bring that in, right? And I might do the same as 2 bars. So let's see. So right now I'm holding record and play to like make it so as soon as I hit the first note, it's going to start recording. So check this out. I'm going to hit play to get off of record mode. I'm going to hit tape track and I'm going to turn this all the way up to quantize it fully. I'm going to go over here and maybe bring the volume of the bass up. I might change the frequency and resonance next. Might go back over here to arpeggio and decrease the sound a little bit. And the last thing that I'm going to show you guys just for this video, maybe we'll call this just like a getting started type video. Probably the most important and exciting feature on this piece of equipment for me is the fact that we can do something like this. So I'm going to sequence the key changes. So if I go to track and I go to this master track, check this out. I'm going to play what we were just hearing. And then I can press buttons on here to make, I'm gonna hold shift to make all of these change the key in real time. So maybe it's better to kind of show you what that looks like. So you see that, right? In addition to saying I want that to control these, you can also make it control your drum tracks and then make some kind of crazy things happen there. So check this out. Now the drums are going to sound... That was horrible, but... So you can do a lot of really, really interesting things. So I don't want this video to be too over the top and too much information, but I have a lot more to share, like step components and just a lot of other things on here that would make it special. But yeah, let me know if this was helpful. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.